Okay, welcome back if you're joining me from part 1. In this video I'm going to talk about the tag combos that I've started from Eliot in player 1 position. And if this is the first video that you're watching, then I recommend you watch part 1 later on, because there's certain things in this video that I explain in more detail in part 1, so I recommend you watch that one later on. Okay, so like I was saying before, in the first video there's raw tag, quick tag, tag throw, aerial tag and burst tag, and I cover all of those in the first one. So the simple aerial combo from Eliot in player 1 position is you do up, forward, kick, kick to launch them, and then you do up and tag button or R1 button, and then Mariot will come flying in from the top of the screen. So like I said before, if you want to tag out whilst doing damage, then that's a good way of doing that. Like this, and it's really easy to do. It's really easy to do, even easier than Mariot's version. Like this. Okay, so easy combos from Eliot. The first one's called Sweet Tiger, and you can do that one by doing forward kick, down kick, punch to launch, and then right after you launch you switch to Mari, so it's like this, and then you finish off with Mariot. You do, when you're in Mari, you do punch, 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 and then you do forward punch, kick. This one you shouldn't have too much difficulty connecting it, because the moves are quite easy to do. Just like that. Okay, and that one is 67 damage. Next one is Skyfare. So to do that one you do down, heavy punch to launch. This is the move I was talking about before that you can use to refloat them. This time you use it to launch, and then right after you launch you switch to Mariot, and then you do forward punch punch, and then you do punch punch, forward punch, kick to finish. Like that. Just like that. Oops. Just like that. And do it one more time. Just like that. That's Skyfare. So those are the two easy combos. I went through those a bit quickly, but those are the easiest ones to do. Okay, next are the medium combos. So the first one is Fortune Stealer, and that one you do dash, and with Eliot you do dash, punch, punch, you do punch 4 times. This is the one I was talking about in his video, where if you do punch too many times then you'll send them flying, but the 4th punch is critical stun level 3, which is what you want, so you kind of have to stop the string at the 4th punch to get the critical stun. Like that. And then when they're in critical stun you do up kick, and that will launch them. And then after you launch you quickly switch to Mariot, so it should be like that. Oops. So when you're in Mariot, then you do up forward punch, then forward punch punch, and then punch punch forward kick kick, I believe. I'm not sure if it was forward punch kick, but we'll see in a second. Yeah, it was kick kick. You do punch punch forward kick kick to finish that one. Oops. Yeah, these ones, since they're getting longer, it'll be more difficult to connect the last part, so you have to be careful. Like that. Ah. Yeah, like that. So that is Fortune Stealer. Next one is called Flirting, and to do that one you do up punch with Eliot to put into critical stun, and then you quickly switch to Mariot and you do up punch 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 to do this kind of flat nose. And this one you need to be careful, because if you're really quick to press on the tag button before you've really finished with this, then the last punch won't connect properly, and that is not what you want. You want all of the punches to connect so that it launches. So basically you need to time the tag button so it's after they launch. So like this, like that. But what you don't want is this. You could combo from there probably, because it looks like they're in critical stun, but what you want is to launch. So do this, and then after you tag Eliot, you do up punch to refloat, and then you do back punch 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 to finish. So it's like not like that. Just like that. Just like with the other ones, you have to try and do this one quickly if you want to finish properly. Or you could do that if you want to do it. I didn't even do that on purpose. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, lastly, I'll go over the 3 advanced combos. So the first one is called Let Me Play 2, and it is, you start from Eliot like the other ones, and you do forward forward punch 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 punch, but not, wait, punch 4 times, so it's critical stun like this. And then you do Mari's critical burst. So if you didn't watch part 1, what I mean by that is you do quarter circle backwards and tag button. So Mari comes in to do her critical burst instead of Eliot. So basically it looks like this, like that. And to do that you do quarter circle backwards and tag button. And then after they're in critical burst, I just finish it with up and heavy punch to go into her, like, I think that's back turn, but she does a side step as well. I think it's called, I think the move is actually called minuet, when she hops to the side like this. So when she's in minuet, then you do heavy punch again, but you have to do it quickly. so that she does this sort of hip check thing. Let me show you what I mean. Why don't you do that? Like that. But what you don't want is this. That happens when you don't do heavy punch after minuet fast enough. But if you do heavy punch, so immediately afterwards, then she'll do this hip check thing. Which is what you want. So we go. So this is just an example of ways you can finish from critical burst. Really, you can do anything you wanted to. Even if they were in, let me see. If Mary was in rage, you could actually, in theory, use her super to finish this, and that's relevant for all the times that they're in critical burst. You can finish it with a super combo. So let me try and see if I can do that. So. Yeah. Also, if you tag out if they're both in rage and you tag out whilst they're doing the super combo, you can do like a tag super combo, which is good. Let me change that back. Okay, so that one is that one. Next. Oops. There we go. So that's Mountain Princess, because it's a combination of Mountain Shrine and Princess Slap, I think. That's, yes. That's that one. Next one is Zombie Movie Marathon, and this one is the combo that has the aerial, that has Mary's aerial tag in it. So basically, to do that, you do up punch to stun. And then you do down forward kick punch to put them into critical stun. And then you do Mary's burst. And then after that you do up back kick to launch. And then right after you launch, then you quickly switch to Eliot. And you do down, heavy punch to refloat. And then you do heavy kick. I'll break all of this down properly in a second. And you do heavy kick, and then you do Mary's aerial thing like before. You do up and tag button whilst the opponent is still in the air. So all together it should look like this one. You have to be really careful to connect the down and heavy punch, because this one is one of those ones where you can't just do it immediately. You have to time it, because it's kind of strange that way. So if you do up like this, so it's like you don't do it straight away. Next one is Zombie Movie Marathon, and this one is the combo that has the aerial, that has Mary's aerial tag in it. So basically, to do that, you do up punch to stun, and then you do down forward kick punch to put them into critical stun, and then you do Mary's burst, and then after that you do up back kick to launch, and then right after you launch, then you quickly switch to Eliot, and you do down, heavy punch to refloat. And then you do heavy kick. I'll break all of this down properly in a second. And you do heavy kick, and then you do Mary's aerial thing like before. You do up and tag button whilst the opponent is still in the air. So all together it should look like this one. You have to be really careful to connect the down and heavy punch, because this one is one of those ones where you can't just do it immediately, you have to time it, because it's kind of strange that way. So if you do up like this, so it's like you don't do it straight away, you have to sort of almost you have to wait like maybe half a second or something before you throw this out, otherwise if for some reason it doesn't connect properly, and which is another reason why it's an advanced combo, because the timing is really strict on it. So basically you do this, and then after you do, but then again, that's another thing, you can't leave it too late, otherwise you won't be able to connect the heavy kick. So it's just one of those things. So the idea is almost right before they're touching the ground, you do the aerial tag. But the strange thing is, if you try and do the aerial tag whilst they're kind of in the middle, well, whilst the opponent is flying in the middle of the screen, for some reason it does less damage than if you slam them on the ground, if that makes sense. So if it makes sense, try and do the aerial tag as late as possible while still connecting it, because I think that will do more damage. I think when I tried to do it early, it did like maybe 75 damage, whereas if you do it properly, it's like 108 damage. So I'm not really sure why that's the case, but maybe because just like with wall splats, you get more damage. If you splat on the floor, you get more damage as well. Maybe that's what it is, I don't know. So that's just how it is. Like that. That's exactly what you want. So it's like she comes in and smashes them down right when they touch the floor. So let's try again. Not like that. And that does really good damage. Oh, not like that. Okay, so that's all of the combos for the two of them. I really love these combos because a lot of them I designed them so that they look cool as well, and they're really fun to do, and it's really satisfying to connect some of them. So there you go. Like I said before, you can customize them however you want to. Even when there's two people, it sort of even opens up the possibilities of the different types of combos you can do. So I mean, you can do, because of this quick tag feature, you can really do almost anything you want to, really. So like even just like simple things you can just easily combo into. Because you can quickly change into from like any move. In Tekken Tag Tournament 2, it wasn't really as flexible as that. So I find that really interesting. Because I've seen people online who do combos that are like switching like many times, like more than 2 or 3 times, and doing like crazy damage. You know the ninjas, what they're like. So that's that. So yeah, just keep practicing. In the next in part 3, I'm going to talk about heavy combos, or the heavy variations of the tag combos that I talked about from part 1. And in part 4 I'll talk about the heavy combos, which are the variations of the combos that I talked about in this video. So yeah, keep practicing and you'll get there in the end.